I was working at a car wash. True story. I'll make it quick. I was working at a car wash, and it was my best friend. Shout out to the Sandoval family for taking me in, and I didn't have a job. I was like 14, maybe 15, and I was working for them. I was running a car wash, and this guy came in, and he had all these cabs. He owned like 10 cabs, and he would come in like twice a week and bring in all these cabs, one at a time, and I would sit there and wash all these cabs. And it was a senior in high school, and the guy was like, "Hey, Rick, what are you gonna do with yourself, when you graduate high school?" And actually, I had no idea. So, I wasn't thinking about college. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, So the guy's like, "Well, my wife can get you a job." He gives me a piece of paper. Here's my wife's number. Call her up. It's at the merchandise mart. I'm like, okay. So I get in the cab. I never been downtown alone before. I think I was like 17, 18. Yeah, I didn't even know how to be. I got in the cab, whatever. I only had like $20, right? So I'm in the cab, and I forgot a piece of paper. And the piece of paper had the address, the phone number, and what floor to go to because his wife was going to hire me on the spot. So all I could remember, I couldn't remember the merchandise mart. So I told the cab driver, I'm like, "Hey, can you take me to the merch something?" He's like, "The Mercantile Exchange?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's it." So he took me to the Mercantile Exchange on accident. He took me to the Mercantile Exchange on accident, and I'm like, I walked in, so I'm like, I don't remember what floor I was supposed to go to, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the 11th floor, right? Because that's like the lucky number, right?
I guess.
So I went to the 11th floor. This is gonna sound even crazy. I went to the 11th floor. Guy walks in. He's like, I walk in. The guy's like, "Hey, what's going on? Can I help you?" He's like, I said, "I'm looking for a job." Guy says, "What's your name?" Blah blah blah. I told him. He brings me in. He's like, "I'll interview you." Shout out to Aaron Lopez. Aaron Lopez is the man for giving me the opportunity. Jeff Kennedy, another awesome guy. Hopefully they're watching. Two great men. I wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have a gym. I wouldn't have
the Rolex.
True story. If it wasn't for Aaron Lopez and Jeff Kennedy, two great men who gave me an opportunity. So anyway, he's like, "Hey, yeah, I have a runner job open. It pays like $150 a week or whatever it was." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do it, whatever." And he's like, "Well, you have a resume." I'm like, "Well, I don't even know what a resume was. It was like 17, I don't know." And so long story short, he's like, "Well, I don't." He's like, "How old are you?" He goes, "What school did you graduate from?" I'm like, "De La Salle Institute," right? It's a high school, but I made it sound like super swanky. So he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what school that is." And I'm like, "Well, it's a high school." And he's like, "High school?" He's like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, 18. So he's like, "Look at all these resumes. I got all these resumes from this guy, or from Notre Dame, from all these Big Ten schools, whatever." And I'm like, "All right." So I got up and I was walking out. And he's like, "Well, you're not even going to try to, do this interview? You're just going to quit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can't compete with that. All these college kids." He's like, "Well, why should I hire you over all these guys? I'll give you one shot." And I didn't know how to respond. I wasn't well-spoken, So I asked him, I said, "Aaron," his name is Aaron Lopez. It's like, can I just talk to you like you're from my neighborhood?" And he's like, if that's how I'm going to give my answer, yeah, tell me. Then I said, "If you hire me, I'll work longer than all these guys and for half the pay." So, boom. After that, hired me, and I had the worst job. It was awful. I was running around grabbing coffees, running around grabbing lunch, running around this and that. And then eventually I met this guy, Jeff Kennedy, who was a great guy who brought me down to the trading floor. And I was just so excited about working downtown. I was just like, "Mom, I'm working downtown." It was amazing, She's like, "Doing what?" I'm like, "I don't even know yet." Because it was like I just got hired,
That's all that mattered.
Yeah, so I just went from working to a car wash to that, and then after that, opportunity, and I started trading when I was 21 years old, and I've been on a seat ever since. So it's been a long time, and I'm 27 right now.
That boy's telling lies.
I'm an old dude right now, but I've been around for a long time, man. I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot of stuff.
No, that's what's up, bro. Because when I think of the Chicago Board, you know what I'm saying. It's well known. It's well renowned, bro.
Crazy.
I know a couple people. Shout out to the Cornishes, you know what I'm saying? Catherine Cornish. My homeboys, well, actually, I call her my sister too, but she came to Chicago. She asked all about it. I was like, "I'm gonna put you in touch with my guy Rick." But at the time, you and I were talking about the first amateur event you put together. You and Sam put together. Shout out to Mr. Kalam. I still need you on the show, Mr. Kalam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta bring Sam on for sure.
One day. I know he's a busy man. One day.
He Sam's big time.
He's big time now.
No, I'll bring him. I'll talk to him. We'll bring him on.
So, I was like, man, I don't know too much about day trading. I just know that when you put up a video on your page one day,
Yeah,
and there was a bunch of shouting.
Yeah,
And one dude was like right behind you, Rick, and he's trying to hand you his page, and you look at him like, bro, I know you see me this right. But what is that all? So when you're day trading, you're literally trading like real time, correct?
Yeah, it's real time. It's real. It's live, man. It's like what you see on the screens, and it's going down. I mean, there's a little bit of a delay, but for the most part, it's spot on. You know.
I mean, because we're talking about numbers fluctuating by the second, by the minute,
by the millisecond. You know, I'm lucky enough to stand around some really smart people. You know, there's a lot of Ivy League guys. You know, and you know when you surround yourself, it's the same thing like life. You know, you surround yourself with bad people, you're going to be a bad person, you know, and these guys around me are super smart, you know, super smart. Most of them, not most of them, some of them have Ivy League educations, and, you know, some of them have Big Ten school, you know, educations, and, you know, I didn't go to college, you know, so I was lucky, you know, my work ethic, and, you know, because I got along with a lot of people, you know, I got a lot of opportunities, you know, but if it wasn't for that, you know, like I tell everyone, man, make friends when you can. Don't make friends when you have to, because you know, when you have to make friends, a lot of people see through that. And
oh yeah, it's really transparent.
A lot of people don't want to help you when you're down. for real, they want to step on you.
Right, and keep it moving.
Yeah, for sure.
You're the stepping stone for the most part.
No doubt about it.
Man, but you know, and you right around the corner too.
Yes,
you know
Chicago Board of Options. Yep.
Man, so as y'all know, we are downtown Chicago, right here on State and Harrison. Realest of G's, right across from the prestigious 7-Eleven.
And the Busy Burger, or what is that called?
Every burger. Every burger. They don't take no cash. No cash. They don't take no cash.
A lot of people are doing that now.
That's ridiculous. Cash is still king.
I agree, but a lot of people aren't taking it.
They say, I don't want that. I want the Bitcoins. I want your Apple Pay. But that's funny to me. Like, a lot of these places that are trying to change and keep up with the modern technology, they're not doing no Apple Pay. They're not. And I mean,
you might as well do Apple Pay. I mean,
most places need to.
Yeah,
if that's the case, you keep up technology, right?
You have to.
Everyone's got an iPhone.
Everybody's got an iPhone or some type of Android.
They should do Apple Pay. Right?
I'm just saying. So,
hey,
all right. So before,
what's up, Blanca?
What's up, everybody on Rick's feed? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's on Rick's feed.
Shout out to my mom. She's still on my feed.
Oh man.
Shout out to Neil. What's up, Neil?
What's up, Neil? So, we were talking about women's boxing as well.
Shout out to Jeannie. What's up?
Sorry. And you know. Hopefully I still got Miss Corinne coming through next week.
Oh yeah.
So man, I mean, there's some historic women box, you know, from here. I mean, we got Miss Figueroa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Rita Figueroa, man.
You know what I'm saying?
She's one of the first
one
to do
tops.
it. Yeah, she's definitely made it. You know, Rita Figueroa. I don't think a lot of people understand. You know, love her or hate her. She's very, very honest. You know, as far as her opinion. She made women box. I mean, there was women boxers before her. I'm not gonna lie. Chris Cruz. You know, I don't know Latanya, or what's her name? Katanya Jones, I think her name was. Oh, she was Latasha. Well, she was a monster out of Fuller Park. She was a monster. I knew some of those girls. I moved around with some of them. I was sparring with some of them, and they were beating me up at the time. I was like 18, 19 years old. They were beating me up pretty bad. But no, Rita Figueroa made it mainstream. She made it cool, made it popular to be a female fighter in Chicago. You know, so shout out to Rita for doing that. You know, she paved the way for Jessica, Christy Gearhart, Sarah French. You know, a lot of these girls. So shout out to Rita for that. You know, that's not easy. You know?
I mean, because now, especially with now, you got some of the personalities, your Shields, your, you know what I'm saying. You got the Serrano sisters. Yeah, you got Esparza. I mean, there's an upcomings now.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like now is a time for, you know what I'm saying, the females to actually put on some shows now, man. Because now we're putting them on cards, and you know these live cards and these like your Fox cards, your ESPN cards. These are the perfect cards right now for them. You know, I mean, we just gotta keep pumping it. That's all. That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
Yep.
So here, let me go ahead. Got another update for you boys. I know y'all tired of me being about these Cubs, but you know I gotta do it. If I don't, everyone will kick me off the radio. So this is the Realist and Boogie, Mr. Ramos still. This is Art of Science, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.